I teach families and children how to eat healthy. I work with a couple different programs. I work with 2 parent programs, and I work with a school where I teach kids how to cook. I teach them the appreciation for healthy foods like fruits and vegetables. What motivates me the most is actually God's promise for health, that it is an inherent right as human beings for us to be healthy. When I wanted to move in a different direction, I really wasn't sure what that direction was going to be, but I could feel the pull. I could literally feel something pulling on me in the inside. And then the crisis came, and I got fired. After receiving awards and money from the company, I got fired. So it showed me at that moment, it wasn't about going back and try to knock on that door, but it actually put me in a place where I had to start to listen and say, what is this that's pulling me in another direction? And then I got sick. And when I got sick, I had, a couple surgeries for the same problem. And then I wanted to try to look more holistically at what I could do to get better, and was actually told by my physician that there was nothing that I could do, that I had to live with that for the rest of my life. I will not accept that, because I was very disempowered by that information, that there wasn't anything that I could do for my own health. And so I went full blown, and overnight I became raw vegan. And it was actually a book that I saw at a restaurant in the city, which is called Quintessence, and it's called A Way Out. Well, I ended up not having the surgery that was predicted. I even have the letter that came from the physician that, of course, he was covering himself, which he needed to do, telling me that I was making a fatal decision by not having the surgery, which could scare a lot of people. It frightened me. But at the time, I was really growing in my faith. And so when I saw that letter, I remember writing over that letter that your faith has healed you. And in that moment, I took that walk of faith and believed, and went completely natural, raw vegan, started learning how to cook vegan, eating at this particular place a lot, planning my meals. And within 3 months, I'd lost 35 pounds. All of the tumors were gone. My hair was different. My skin was different. Everything was different. People were literally asking me, what are you doing? Because there was such a visible difference. Well, all of us are meant to do something. We're all unique, right down to our DNA, our fingertips, right? So there's something uniquely that we're called to do. I think that life can be so distracting that it literally pulls you away from getting to know what that is. Sometimes it's just a matter of being comfortable. This was given to you, and this job or whatever, or this field, and you're comfortable. But is that really what you want? And so I think that people do come to that question. And I think if you're fortunate, you get to that place where you start to hear inside, right? You start to hear inside of you, there's something uniquely that I am meant to do. And once you hear that, you've got to follow it wherever it leads. But as an entrepreneur, knowing what you're called to do is really the most important thing, because that's what's going to drive you. That's what gives me my passion. Every time I feel like quitting, or let's say it's not a day I feel like quitting. Let's say it's a day where everything just is not going my way. Well, in a time like that, when somebody comes to me and says, oh my gosh, you changed my life. I know I didn't change their life, The information changed their life, and their ability to grasp that and be empowered by it and then go and do something with it is what changed them. But to know that it's making a difference in someone's life keeps me going. So I think that entrepreneurs need to be very connected with what their specific call is, because in that place, the doors will start to open and the way will be made clear one step at a time. But I think what's really important, which just happened to me in the past couple years, as things began to really come into focus and crystallize, which is there's no plan B.